There's this huge debate swirling around the tech world right now. Is Elon Musk actually ahead or behind in this insane race for AI supremacy? It's a question with enormous implications, and today we're going to break down both sides of the argument.
So here's the big question everyone's asking. Is Elon Musk losing the single most important technological race in human history? Now, a lot of critics are quick to say yes, but the reality is, we might be measuring this race all wrong.
All right, so the whole argument that he's falling behind, it really boils down to one critical technical milestone that his competitors seem to be hitting first. It's a concept that could create a lead that's literally impossible to overcome, and it's called RSI. So what is RSI? It stands for Recursive Self-Improvement, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Imagine an AI that's smart enough to look at its own code, find flaws, and just fix them. It rewrites itself to be better. Then that better version does the same thing, again and again, creating this whoosh, this exponential explosion in how smart it can get.
And this is where the real panic sets in for anyone trying to compete. There's a lot of chatter, a lot of evidence suggesting that labs like Anthropic and OpenAI have already cracked this. And if their AI is busy improving itself day and night while Musk's isn't, well, the capability gap isn't just going to grow, it's going to expand exponentially. It's not a gap, it's a chasm that gets wider every single second, potentially leaving him in the dust for good. Okay, but here's where the story takes a sharp turn. Musk's whole strategy isn't really about playing catch-up in the current software race. It's about flipping the table, changing the entire playing field by building a physical foundation that literally no one else can match.
See, his game plan is built on three massive pillars. First, a culture of just unmatched, frankly insane speed when it comes to building physical stuff. Second, having access to unique, real-world data that a chatbot locked in a server can never, ever get. And third, putting together massive, and this is key, coherent computing power. It's a hardware-first strategy, through and through. So what does the man himself have to say about all this? When asked about falling behind, he gave a characteristically blunt answer. It's a long way from over. In his mind, this software sprint we're all watching right now, that's just the warm-up lap. The real race is a marathon, and he believes it's going to be won on a completely different track.
Let's dig into that first pillar, speed. Think about typical tech culture, especially in the Bay Area. It's all about these careful, staged rollouts and processes. Musk's culture is the complete opposite. He just builds the massive physical infrastructure, the factories, the data centers first, and he does it at a breakneck pace. So when the software is finally ready, he can hit the accelerator and scale faster than anyone on the planet.
And if you want a perfect example of this insane speed, just look at the build-out for Tesla's Cortex-2 supercomputer. While other companies are drawing up plans, he's already pouring concrete. He just confirmed that the first half of this monster facility will be up and running next month. That's a timeline that is just unheard of. They're even bringing in temporary chillers just to get online a little bit sooner. It's all about moving at the speed of production, not just the speed of code. So why build all this stuff so fast? Well, it's to process something no one else has. And that brings us to the second pillar, data. But we're not talking about text scraped from the internet. Musk is making a huge bet on what's called embodied AI. It's the idea that for an AI to get truly smart, to get to AGI, it can't just read Wikipedia. It has to physically interact with and learn from the messiness of the real world. So where does he get this data? Well, it's coming from millions of Tesla cars navigating chaotic city streets. It's coming from thousands of Optimus robots learning how to walk and perform physical tasks. It's even coming from sentient machinery inside his factories. This is a fire hose of unique, physical, real-world data that his competitors, they just don't have it.
Now, to chew through that mountain of real-world data, you need an absolutely unbelievable amount of power. And that leads us to pillar number 3, compute. And to really get Musk's strategy here, you have to wrap your head around the mind-boggling scale we're talking about. This isn't a race of billions anymore. This is a race of trillions.
The numbers really tell the story. By early 2026, his company xAI is on track to have the largest single coherent compute cluster on Earth. And that word coherent is so important. It's not just about having a ton of GPUs scattered around. It's about networking them all to function as one single gigantic brain. That's what lets you train bigger, more powerful models than your rivals who might have their compute power all chopped up. To give you some perspective on the money involved, Google recently announced this massive plan to spend up to $1.9 trillion on AI infrastructure over the next decade. That just sounds like an untouchable number, right? An amount no one could ever beat.
Well, not to Elon Musk. His response to Google's nearly $2 trillion plan was simple. It was blunt. It was, those are rookie numbers.
So if almost $2 trillion is rookie numbers, what's he thinking? Musk has said that to truly compete, to actually win the AGI race, the investment needed is more on the scale of $10 trillion. He's not just raising the stakes here, he's playing an entirely different financial game that's 5 times bigger than even his biggest competitors are planning for.
Okay, so you have to ask, why? Why this crazy obsession with speed, with physical data, and with just absurd amounts of hardware and money? Because for Elon Musk, the endgame has never been about building a slightly better chatbot. It all comes down to something in the AI world known as the bitter lesson. And it's simple. For decades, really smart people tried to write these beautiful, clever, elegant algorithms. And you know what they found out time and time again? Brute force almost always wins. Just throwing more computing power and more data at a problem consistently beats a cleverer, smaller scale approach. Musk is betting that this lesson is the only thing that matters for AGI.
And this is the real prize. This is why it all matters. The ultimate goal here isn't a clever AI you can chat with. It's about discovering new medicines that transform healthcare. It's reinventing all of manufacturing with humanoid robots. It's discovering new materials, new physics, and ultimately solving some of the biggest challenges humanity faces by creating abundance. That's the end state he's building all this for.
So we come full circle, right back to where we started. But now the question looks a little different. The AI race is definitely on, but maybe we've all been watching the wrong scoreboard. The critical question isn't just who's ahead in software today, it's what does the finish line even look like? Is it a breakthrough in the digital world of code, or is it a revolution in the physical world that we all have to live in? History is going to be the judge of which one of those races truly mattered.